Hey everyone, it's Kanga here with another Apex Legends video, and today I'm going to be talking about the best duo combinations in Apex Legends. And what I mean by this is basically just two legends who work well together and just have great synergy. I figured now is a good time to make this video since the Valentine's Duos event is happening right now, but I do have to credit my mate Tim Sam as he's the one who gave me the idea for this. So if you do like this video, be sure to go check him out. I should have a card on the top right now for his channel, and I'll also link it down below in the description. But yeah, another thing is that I feel like both Octane and Mirage have pretty poor synergy, so they're not going to pop up much, if at all, on this list. Because especially with Mirage, as far as I'm concerned, his abilities are all like only for him. They don't really go well with the abilities of anyone else. And yeah, that being said, if you guys have your own good duos that I didn't mention, chuck them down below in a comment, and I'll make like a pinned comment with all the best duos that I didn't mention. But yeah, with that out of the way, let's get into our first duo combo. First off, and probably the most obvious duo, is going to be Caustic and Watson, the king and queen of camping, essentially. Now, I shouldn't need to explain this one too much, as it's kind of self-explanatory. They both have abilities that can deter people from entering rooms and essentially claim that area for themselves. Now, often people will try and use grenades to take down anyone camping, but since Watson has her interception pylon, that's not going to be possible. So you can basically just make an impenetrable fortress on like any place that you choose. You do want to be careful of cryptos though, and also you would probably want to make sure you position yourself well, as you don't want to put all of your cooldowns into like one building and then find that you're not in the next circle and you have to move away anyway. But this you probably have the best synergy in the game, and they are pretty tough to deal with even for top players. I do want to also make a quick note that if you do like want to put this into trios, a good third to have is Gibraltar, as his shield can block incoming damage as well. But yeah, Caustic and Watson, probably the best duo in the game. The next thing I'm going to be talking about is once again going to involve Watson, but this one is with Lifeline. Now, the reason I feel like these two play together well is because obviously you have Lifeline's health drone, which you can use to heal your base health pretty quickly, and the reason this is good for Watson is that with her ultimate, which don't forget you can charge instantly with a single ultimate accelerant, you can slowly charge up your shields with the interception pylon. So when you have these two on a team together, you don't need to worry about carrying too many heals around. Obviously, you'll still want to have some heals, but it will no longer be as much of a necessity, which is nice because obviously you can have Lifeline's health drone to heal up your base health, and you can have Watson's interception pylon to heal up your shield, so you can just sit down for like 30 seconds or so and you'll be back up to full health in no time. No need to carry like syringes and shield cells around basically. But yeah, that's it for Watson and Lifeline. Up next we have Lifeline and Gibraltar, and the reason I'm pairing these two together is because both of them are able to have 25% faster usage of healing items and reviving, as well as they both have shields to revive with. So with their passives and shields lining up so well, I feel like these two are just like naturally going to play together at a similar pace. And regardless of whether you want to like run into the enemy full aggro, or if you just want to take the fights that come to you and play slowly, these two are going to be forced to reckon with either way, since they just have really similar playstyles in the sense that they're like, I don't want to say like the tank of the team because Lifeline isn't really a tank, but they're like a key part of the team, you know, like the team revolves around them with their shields and high healing output. But yeah, that's why I think Lifeline and Gibraltar go well together. Another legend that Gibraltar plays really well with is Bangalore, and my reasoning behind this is simply because both of their ultimates have a similar effect, essentially making it so that enemies aren't able to pass through certain areas. So if you throw one onto either side of an enemy, for example, and there aren't any buildings nearby, these enemies are going to be just like sitting ducks for you, as they'll either need to take large amounts of damage from either of your ults, or sit there and uselessly like shoot the smoke that comes from these ultimates, and you can just like hurl grenades at them, shoot bullets at them, even if you don't know exactly where they are. Like there's such a wide area where you can be, so they have no idea where you are, whereas they're in like such a small confined area, it's so easy to kill them. And then obviously with this you want to be careful of Watson's, as she can take out both of your ults with just her interception pylon. So if you are going up against a Watson, you're probably going to want to try a different strategy. But again, this is just really powerful, and not that many people play with Watson, at least in low ranks and public games. But yeah, that's why I think Bangalore and Gibraltar go together pretty well. While I'm on the topic of Bangalore, I think this also goes pretty well with either a Bloodhound or Crypto, because obviously they're able to target enemies through walls. They can also see them through smoke. So if Crypto positions this drone well above smoke, or your Bloodhound gets a good tactical, then while the enemies think they are safe in the smoke, like generally if you get smoke, you'll probably just be like standing still because you're like, well, they can't see me, there's no reason for me to be strafing. But if you do have the Crypto or Bloodhound, you can be lining up a shot on them, and obviously if you have a thermal scope, that works well too, but that's a strategy or an idea, I guess, for another video. But yeah, Bangalore goes well with the Bloodhound and Crypto. Bangalore isn't the only hero that goes well with Bloodhound and Crypto, as I feel like they both pair really well with Caustic for similar reasons as Bangalore. Obviously with their abilities, they are both able to see through his gas. However, what they were also able to do is help him position his canisters and his ultimate better. For example, if you're pushing an enemy camping inside a building, you can use the Bloodhound to figure out like exactly where they are in the building, and then using Caustic's canisters you can block off one exit. They won't know they're there, so like they can't push into that later when you go through the other exit or entrance with your ultimate. So basically they're caught between a rock and a hard place, and it's going to be pretty easy for you to kill them. But yeah, Caustic also goes well with Bloodhound and Crypto. I feel like these two, like, overall, they're two of the weaker legends in the game. However, they can have their moments of shine when played well in combination with the right teammates. As I just mentioned, Bloodhound and Caustic, two of those better teammates to pair with them. While I'm talking about Caustic again, I want to mention that he can play kind of well with Revenant, although he can also be exchanged for a Watson. So I guess what I'm saying here is that Revenant goes well with Caustic and Watson, or either of them. As the strategy you'd probably want to do with these guys is to set up defenses around Revenant's death totem, so that enemies aren't able to get the jump on you before you heal back up. You can relate this back to the strategy I was talking about earlier with Caustic and Watson. You can essentially just set up a base in whatever room you want, and then get a free push with your ultimate, and then the enemy isn't able to push in even though you're 1 HP because the canisters and fences are around. Obviously they can't just push straight through that, or they'll end up getting caught out by the gas or the fence, and they're like free kills for you if they do decide to shoot push in. But probably won't, but it is like a pretty good, like, I guess defense mechanism if you want to call it that. But yeah, Caustic does go pretty well with Revenant, and so does Watson. Revenant has a few synergies, although they're all far from the strongest. However, like, there are a few situations where certain legends are better with him than others. One of these is Wraith, the reason being that when you return to the totem, if you already have a portal set up next to it, you can retreat even further back to heal up, but still manage to get back into the fight really quick. And then another legend, that Revenant goes well with is Lifeline, as her health drone can be used pretty effectively to heal up faster after using the death totem, and even if they push in before you can heal up and down one of you, she's pretty easily able to revive you even during the fight because of her revive shield. So yeah, Revenant does go quite well with Lifeline and Wraith as far as I'm concerned. Obviously there are stronger combos out there, but if one of you wants to play Revenant, those are a few of the legends that will go better with him. Going back to Wraith, I feel like she also pairs well with either a Caustic or Watson for two separate strategies which are both equally as effective. First is that if you're camping a room, you can use the Wraith to put down a portal and instantly teleport yourself to another room. And this is obviously really useful for late game, or I guess like really any other time in the game where for whatever reason you need to move a short distance but still want to play more defensive campy style. And then the other, arguably more fun strategy is one that goes better with Caustic, but essentially what you want to do is set up a room with traps and then put a portal in the middle of all of them, or like not like right next to them, but like spread out in a room in the middle of it. And then what you want to do is put the ending of that portal somewhere nearby, lure enemies into that, and then obviously they'll like teleport into it, and then they'll be stuck in a room with just traps everywhere. I'm sure like most of you have either had this happen to you before or thought of it at some point, because it is like kind of obvious, but also people aren't going to be expecting that. And even if they don't set off the traps, there's still obviously a delay of a few seconds where they can't go back into the portal, so you can use that time for all 2 or 3 of you to shoot them down. But yeah, it's one of the cheesiest strategies, but it does work pretty effectively. If you have tried it out yourself, you would know that. While I'm talking about Wraith, I just want to quickly say that the beauty of her portal is that it can work well with basically every single legend in the game. Obviously it works better with some than others, but it's such a versatile ultimate and even just a good movement tool, or to move through the ring faster when reviving a teammate. It's got like so many uses, and I'd say Wraith is probably like the most versatile hero when it comes to pairing with others. And then moving on from that though, I think a legend that she synergizes like the best with, or one of the better synergies she has, is with Pathfinder. It's they're both like all their abilities, so they're kind of like, they're really similar, I guess. Well, I'll explain this better. So they're both their tacticals, they have like extra movement and to make some space between them and the enemy. Their ultimates both enable you to cover long distances in short time spans and get in and out of the fight faster. And on top of this, both of their passives give you some of the best information in the game, as like knowing when an enemy is looking at you before they even get a chance to shoot is like invaluable. And obviously knowing where the next circle is going to be is also some of the strongest information in the game. But yeah, I feel like all their abilities that kind of link well together, and they have similar purposes. But yeah, I reckon Wraith and Pathfinder are an incredibly strong duo. Another duo that I think works really well with Pathfinder is an Octane, because as far as I'm concerned, both these legends support like a hyper-aggressive playstyle with their movement-focused abilities. There isn't really too much to say about the synergy between these two, as I'm pretty sure it's like self-explanatory. To be honest, they're just like the two fastest legends in the game and can push in together at the same speed, rather than if you're playing, for example, a Pathfinder and a Gibraltar, where the Gibraltar is basically forced to push in slower and the Pathfinder can often be caught out before his teammate can get to him. Obviously this can be solved with a bit of communication, but it's nice when you're able to push in together at the same speed so the enemy doesn't just like pick off the slower one. Anyway guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Just like the last one, I'll be letting the gameplay continue, so be sure to stick around for that. But once again, thanks to Tim for the idea for this video. You can check out his channel in the description below. And on top of that, if you did find this video useful, please do leave a like and subscribe, as I plan on uploading videos like this pretty frequently. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for this one, and I'll see you all next time. See ya.